Okay, I want to get a good video to watch. Also, let me try this. Uh, Test. Hold on. Oh, hang on. Right, I want to try um this really quick. Let me extract this and then go on this. Ah, okay. Um, okay, hang on. Let me just. Does that work? If I turn this on. Hello, John. I just want to try something really quick. Okay, I know what this is. I need to do settings. John, do you want to find a good video? Like we could do. Do you want to do long videos or just like 10-minute ones? Because we could do like a whole like watch a big long video or something. If you want. Hello, full-loved canon. We're just gonna be playing a bit of Minecraft and watching some YouTube or something. Because why not? Okay. I want to see. Do you guys want this on? Hang on. If I go add. It's going pretty good. How's yours going? Finished college for the week and it's bank holiday, so long weekend. Right, I can put like a video of this. Oh shit, not offline. Because I don't want to do I don't want to do cam at the moment, but who's that? Filters. Oh, it's not filters. I need to do something else. Oh, unlucky then. Where's... Am I dumb? Oh, it's prop... No, it's not properties. I could have sworn it was filters. Maybe it was. Oh, it is. I'm just being dumb. Color key. Get green. We don't want that. That's just getting rid of everything. Set that to 0. Oh, we can just do that. Anyone got an idea for a video? We could watch either a long video, a short video, just something to put on while we watch while we play Minecraft. John, are you still there? We can do Twitch plays Pokemon. We can watch the full story of the original. It's a pretty good video. I'm just looking through my recommended now. But Darren Brown. Darren, is this the hacky guy? Darren Brown. The magician. It's a sleeper. This is a honk shoe moment. Oh, I'm not a fan of those ones. I remember his original knife one with the cup. That was decent. Well, like it with the stand on the cups. And one of them had a knife under it or something. Or he also did the one where it's like people had masks on and they'd like control the choice of this person. You can watch an iceberg video. They're pretty cool. It's popular on Darren Brown. The top one is stamping down on an eye. Could you kill a kitten? Russian roulette. I've already seen like half of these. I don't know. These are already short as well. Like they're not that good. Uh, oh, we should watch Kitchen. Oh no, we'll get banned actually. I can't do Kitchen Nightmares. That's an instant ban. We can watch a JCS video, Jim Can't Swim, the criminal psychology one. They're really good. Do you know this guy? Daring around the heist. Do you mean Darren Brown? The heist. Alright, fine. I'll do this one.
This is Gresham Street in
Is
the
that loud
city of
enough?
London.
I know it's not on yet, but is that loud enough? Where do you want this? Right here? And just get a... Wait, will this kill my everything? It hasn't yet. Let me pause it. Okay. A little quieter. Hang on. Is it in an okay position?
And that's the Bank of England there behind us. This is a fake security van. And these are security boxes containing real money. Each box contains £50,000. This is Mark. Mark is our fake security guard. And Mark is a stunt actor, but he has been briefed to act and behave exactly as a real security guard would. This whole area is being protected and surrounded by the police.
Move cat where?
Surrounding here,
just out the way fully?
Of about 200 yards. Their job is to keep the public away.
Turn
and
him off.
if anything gets out of hand. So this is the venue, this is the set for the challenge that I've set myself and have been working on secretly for the last couple of weeks, which is this. Under the guise of a motivational seminar in which I teach my skills to a group of middle management businessmen and women, can I get any of them to steal £100,000 in what they believe is a genuine armed robbery? That's the show. This is the heist.
My cat. I'm just going to craft the arena up so I can actually see chat properly. Wait, is it too loud? It seems really loud right now. I'm not gonna lie.
History is littered with examples of normal people being persuaded to act in deviant, criminal, or irrational ways. How do you persuade someone to do something they would not normally be prepared to do? Some people might think of hypnosis. However, hypnosis isn't really what it appears to be. It's only a kind of play acting, and no one would carry out an instruction to really commit a robbery any more than they'd murder someone if they were told to. So my real task is to insidiously massage certain ideas and mental states into these people without ever mentioning a robbery, so that hopefully, when the time comes, they will just spontaneously, of their own free will, just decide to do it. And that journey starts at a rather comfortable hotel in Hertfordshire.
Okay, I can't even see my mouse.
13 delegates
so I'm gonna
were
restart.
invited to an intimate seminar to apparently learn some of my skills. They were amongst the first to answer ads placed in the press, and also to fulfill certain criteria. They had to be open, responsive types who I felt would respond reasonably to my techniques.
Got myself some
have no
premium
criminal
Asda
record,
beer.
and fall into a typical middle management income bracket or above. They also had to be deemed psychologically robust enough by an independent psychologist to take
Well, I actually
part
just
in
can't
the
see
show.
my mouse now.
And at the end of the show, the opportunity to commit the robbery will be offered separately and individually to just 4 of the delegates. So I have to decide which 4 will be the most likely to take the bait.
I have done motivational seminars before in the past. I've delivered them myself and been to them.
I hope that I'll be able to pick up something from being in close proximity to someone who's so talented.
I'm intrigued by him. I'm very intrigued as to how he does what he does.
The way he manages to influence people and use the power of suggestion to get people to do what he wants would be very useful in my job, absolutely, yeah.
They've arrived the evening before the seminar to have time to relax and have dinner. They are aware that everything is being filmed, but they're unaware that I'm also present, watching from an upstairs room to see how they interact. To kick off the process of getting to know them and to amplify
I know
their
this
behaviours a little,
actually.
I introduce a couple of elements to see how they react to authority. Firstly, an actor playing an irritating security guard hassles them on their way into dinner. The antagonism that some of these people will feel towards this security guard, dressed in green, will become an important part of the jigsaw puzzle right at the end of the journey.
Enjoy.
It's like manipulating them in every way.
I'm Darren Brown. It has to be done.
Did you see when Darren did the zombie shoot 'em up stunt? I thought that's probably about as extreme as I'd like it to get.
As they enjoy their lavish meal and start to really relax, they're unaware that another actor, playing the maitre d', will present them with an unexpected bill after dinner and drinks. I want to see how they react, who complies, who gets angry, and who emerges as the alpha male or female of the group and takes charge.
Sorry, I think people have got their cards with them or a means of payment. If it's in your room, would it be possible to get it? Because we'd prefer to settle this tonight.
What's this?
For the meal, the bills.
The bills?
I'm sorry, a few people don't seem to have not been aware of the fact that the accommodation is paid for.
I'm still hungry. Personally, I'm still hungry.
Where's the crisps?
I'm very sorry, but you should have said at the time, though. You have to pay for what you've
Just
consumed.
resetting my Windows drivers.
Hello, have you got your payment ready, sir?
Have I got my payment ready? Yeah, send it to my accountant.
Have you got your card in your bedroom, or have you got?
No, send it to my accountant.
Do you want to go and get my card?
Well, I'd love to see your card. That would be a lot easier. It is a bit embarrassing. I understand it's a bit of a surprise to some of you. If you can sort it all out.
Young man, there you go. Put it all on that.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks, Paul. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers for dinner, Paul.
Our 13 businessmen and women have been told little about the show, other than they will be taking part in a seminar to learn my skills, and that there will be follow-up filming for some of them. I'm going to teach them some genuine skills that I use, peppered with some spurious pop psychology.
Let me just try to turn that off really quick. Okay, yeah, it's the picture-in-picture is the problem. I'll do this, and then let me change the YouTube to that, and then I'll just okay, is that all right?
And quite a lot of bullshit.
What
does greed do to you?
My real aim is to start to focus them unconsciously on the idea of stealing, while convincing them that they're learning real skills to keep them responsive and hungry.
So if I do that and go on Minecraft, it still works.
Hello.
My cursor's gone again.
The seminar,
The
and
fuck?
this is a first for me, so I hope you will get a lot out of it.
Why?
Should be fun. Okay,
Is it
so
that?
mind mastery. Let's have a look at what we're going to learn, take away with
Oh.
us today.
There is no way I am going to show, even for fun, even for a laugh, that shoplifting should be done or condoned.
Huh?
My task over the next 2 weeks is to see if I can influence a group of middle
If I
management
put this back
businessmen
here,
and women to
it's
steal
still there.
100,000.
If I pause it, it's still gone. If I full screen that, it's still gone. If I get rid of that, it's still gone. If I get rid of that, it's still gone. Hello? The fuck? Wait, what's wrong? I'm so confused. Is it because... Oh, it's trying to capture two things at once to get rid of the cursor. Can I not? I might have to turn on display capture for my other screen. And then just do this. This one actually might work for once.
£1 in an armed robbery. The process begins with a motivational seminar. I have 5 hours to plant the seeds that will lead to the heist. Along the way, there are various levels at which I'm working. Make yourself feel confident about something simply by playing to their natural suggestibility. I encourage them to believe that hypnosis is a real tool which I'm using to cement their new skills.
Okay,
Their
please.
belief that I might
Okay,
be
this works.
secretly
Fan on.
hypnotizing them makes them feel that they are learning more, which is a trick employed by many speakers in this industry. Can you feel it? On one level, I'm teaching
Why
them
do we play on
useful skills.
hardcore?
They'll go away with a basic
Just like it?
understanding of how to read people's unconscious cues. You can tell from the movement of the eyes whether or not somebody is making an image in the head of something that's happened, they're remembering an image, or whether they're making something up. What's your mother's maiden name?
Edwards.
Thank you. Little look up there and to the right. Don't believe a word of it. I'll ask you to go and sit back down again. But thank you. I'm saying it's this hand here. However, face the front for me and just open the hand that contains the coin. Show them the coin on the palm of your hand. Good.
Lag a bit while
2 minutes.
it loads.
It helps if you stand up as well.
That one's
Just give it a sec.
Move the person around.
and now you're deliberately forcing yourself to look there. You looked there first time, so it's got to be that one.
It's hardcore's easy. Bro, trust. It's not even hard.
For a meal out, I was doing the coin in the hand trick, and I managed to get, I think it was 9
I
or
like
10
that.
times in a row, and I wouldn't tell her how it was done.
It's calm.
And she was so utterly vexed by it. It was great.
Also, I show them how to use certain language patterns to change people's behaviour and confuse aggressors on the street. The wall outside my house isn't 4 foot high, and of course, if someone says that to you, your reaction is to just...
Wool.
Wool. I also show them powerful memory techniques. In one exercise, I have them call out 20 words at random.
Carousel. Spanner.
Motorbike.
Okay.
Motorbike.
Somebody give me a number between 1 and 20?
4.
4 is a cloud.
15.
15. Carousel.
Fuck, I better help. Oh, I'll keep it.
19. Radio.
9.
9. Goal. Okay. 10 minutes from now, you better do it at the speed it took to write them down.
The linking method was so quick to learn, and it is such an amazing thing, and I'm going to teach all my friends how to do it.
It's quite impressive.
He's clueless.
You know, basically learned the technique in the seminar, and now it's like sort of a week later.
I can still remember them now, and that's something that I could never have done.
Stand up. You go through the list from the top. Doll takes you to wool. Wool. Very good. What does wool now take you to?
Owl.
Owl. Very good.
Owl. Cloud.
Owl, cloud, toaster.
Toaster, avocado.
Avocado then takes you to...
Escalator. Joist.
Goal. Pyramid.
Portrait.
Portrait.
Gold, pyramid, portrait, purse.
Biscuit. So 15 was carousel, 16 was laptop.
Laptop. Steak.
Bro, no shot. That's so impressive. They actually remembered words. That's insane.
Motorbike.
Inspirational, to be honest.
And after radio comes, motorbike, give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. 4 things: knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. Now, on a second level, I'm using metaphorical language to implant important pieces of the jigsaw puzzle connected with stealing and a romanticized view of criminality.
It's just like laptop. Blowing up a bomb in the bank.
And impenetrable that people put up. It takes
Radio.
nothing. It can be effortless just to move those guards
Kill
out
the
of the way
policeman.
and take this sort of lorry load of kind of opportunities and skills and strategies that they have to use. Right, let's go past that. Anchoring. That's great. Anchoring is stealing an emotion, stealing a response. Importantly, and on a third level, I introduced the idea of triggering emotional states. This will be of central importance to the persuasion process. I tell them to remember times when they felt highly motivated, and then to amplify the feeling. Can you feel it? It amplifies as it goes around. Each time that it goes around, it boosts you, and you get the feeling more and more. And then attach.
You actually have brain, bro. Bro, this sheep! He's been on a rampage.
After a few repetitions, they can create the motivated state on command just by rubbing. And the more they do, the stronger
by
the
rubbing?
sensation becomes.
Oh, Lord.
Let's do this. It's classic stuff. It's show you sexy, sexy people, make those images bigger, brighter, closer, bring you into it, that sort of thing. Elicit
I'm hearing a lot of
that we'd like you to attach
strange words right now.
Got that, feeling that, great. And there's the product name. And goes on. That's an anchor. I'm going to give you a gift. These will be of use later on, don't worry about them now, but these all represent something important to you, so thank you very much. I give them a realistic toy gun each, to apparently symbolise their new role as thought criminals. 4 of the subjects will need these guns in a couple of weeks.
Probably gonna rob a heist with them.
I also give them a CD each, which I
Me and the
say
boys
contains
heisting a
subliminal
whole bank
messages they
with
must
toy
listen to every
guns.
day. Their belief that I can influence them without them being aware of it is vital to the process. The CDs are in fact blank. They're all pretty similar, but...
Can you load it on your iPod?
Yes. Oh. Yes. Yes, absolutely. You can put it on your iPod. What I want to do now with you is just a consolidation kind of exercise.
I've been here.
In the style of such seminars, we finish with a group visualization. Here, I shift the focus of the seminar towards motivation and an attitude of just do it, and reiterate the language of criminality. When
I've heard that one
just
before.
sees something, wants it, and goes and gets it. Nothing kind of stands in its way. There's just that sense of just do it, just get it, and it's like a green light that just says go. Just do it. I also transfer the rubbing leg trigger across to a piece of music. Bring the feeling back. Keep it going.
Can you feel it? What a banging song.
Whenever you hear that music in your head, you can just go for it.
Big.
So they practiced that a few times, and
Oh, no, I'm dead.
by playing that piece of music, Can You Feel It by the Jackson 5, that it will trigger a very motivational state in them. And then much of the process to come will have to do with manipulating that association for my real agenda. But for now, the piece of music and the colour green and that do it
I didn't
phrase
expect there
are
to be
all
3
very
skeletons.
powerful triggers
That's
for
my
me.
bad.
What I'd like you to do,
Whoops.
after we've done this and we've finished here, you're going to go off and there's a sort of a pub a little way down. You're going to go off and have a drink. There is a sweet shop just over the road.
There's
You can go
shield.
steal a couple of sweets.
I shouldn't have gone over that
Bring them
shield.
back to the pub. To just reclaim that very childlike attitude which is at the heart of this. That's what I want you to do.
Hey yo! Come on.
It was fantastic. That's what I thought about. The whole day was great. It was brilliantly organised.
Best spawn point.
Presented.
Definitely in myself, I feel a lot more positive as I'm going about just like everyday stuff, and especially at work.
I really like my toy gun. It's brilliant. I get to run around my flat making bang bang noises. It's like being 10 again. It's really
I'm restarting this one. I'm not mining out here in my hands.
I mean, it is a bit fun.
What is that
It's not
seed?
like prime time TV, watching a crowd of us learn a few of his simpler tricks and techniques.
I have to get them to cross the line into deviant and criminal behaviour, but in a way which can be framed to sound fun and harmless. Purely because an authority figure has told them to, will they make the decision to walk into the shop, steal goods, and frame it as a positive experience for themselves? I'm watching the action through hidden cameras installed in the newsagents across the road. The shop owner is aware that we're filming, but the assistants know nothing.
I wasn't thinking it was going to be a real shop.
When I got in there, I realised that it wasn't as easy as I thought it'd be. All the staff were standing right by the suites.
We were being asked to do something that was actually against the law.
They don't know that this is being filmed for the show, but they are aware that they may be caught on the shop security cameras and that what they're doing is illegal.
Imagine this whole thing's just a setup to get them all arrested, just like as a prank. Gotcha, bro. You're arrested. That is the worst attempt at stealing I've ever seen.
My reaction when I came back into the pub was actually euphoria.
It was like the woman had got 6 numbers on the lottery. She was so hyper and high about it and proud of herself.
I think that's something that I hope will actually stay with me, because I think I could probably do with taking a few more risks in life.
Yeah, like robbing an innocent convenience store who are just trying to get by. Nothing like that, eh? Epic crime. Is that fire? No, it's just plants.
65, 85.
This is so dumb.
I felt really good, actually.
it's bad.
I feel
to
like
say,
the way you'd steal something,
I don't
right?
know, obviously,
I feel like if you wanted to steal something, wouldn't you like you'd slip something in your pocket and then actually buy something else? Because if you're like if you specifically stand next to like a rack of items where the security cameras can see you, and then you just leave the store, like that's really odd. But if you stand near something, go check out something else, then buy something, but you've secretly put something in your like pocket, isn't that like I don't know. I feel like they went about it really well.
That's what I want to say. Camera, stealing is wrong.
I have a young daughter, a teenage daughter. There is no way I am going to show, even for fun, even for a laugh, that shoplifting should be done or condoned.
Darren explained that was
You
taking us
did!
back to our
Didn't
inner
he?
child, and by taking me back to my inner child, I had the opposite effect. And remember, the sort of it put the fear of God in me, really, in terms of the repercussions. So there's no way.
Rich people
I was going to
explaining why they
steal
need to
anything from
fucking
that shop.
steal. Well, they're so suspicious about doing it. Like,
but no,
they
not
act
at all.
like they're criminals.
Not sure if that reflects anything on my character.
Planes by them, thank God, I've been waiting.
Did you see that? He just literally walked over, picked up the shell, and just walked out. It was the guy in the suit.
One of the things I remember that Darren said was, if you do something with enough confidence, it will work. Which clearly does for him, but it didn't for me.
That's just when you can have this. Well, you can't, no.
So you're not in a position to give it away.
Bro.
Do not leave his side, please. Don't believe this.
Dumbass.
Why would a guy come in and ask to have a packet of fucking orbit?
Actually true. The guy walks in and goes, "Can I have this?" That is like 3-cell brain moment.
Yeah, my wall isn't full, but my wall isn't full, but my wall isn't full, but these doors are probably 13 times. Never shut on yourself now.
You see him do it?
That's the fourth one tonight, that is.
No.
Yeah. They're all in suits as well. There's something going on. That's why I asked him. I said, who comes in?
It's very crowded of them.
Dumbass. If you do it with enough confidence, it'll surely work. Can I have these? Yeah.
I'm trying to get really fucked up here.
I felt it's a bit of a failure actually, because I hadn't done it.
So out of the 13 people that attended the seminar, I've decided to eliminate 4 of them. Paul, first of all, because he was a little too controlling. Had also mentioned that he had a daughter and he didn't want his daughter seeing him do anything criminal on TV, which I thought was fair enough. Pam and Helen, I didn't feel were suitable to take through the heist experience, really. And Sula as well. Sula had admitted to filling out the wrong job on her application form. She isn't really an accountant, and her real job doesn't fall within the criterion of the show. So those are eliminated, but all the people that do get eliminated will take with them a very powerful motivational state which they can tap into, as well as certain genuine skills which they've learned from me at the seminar. So those are gone, but there are 9 people left.
He's in a lot of pain.
Elbows are. Ain't that a shame?
There are 9 subjects left. I can only use 4 for the heist. So a week after the seminar, I arranged to test the limits of their responsiveness to authority. So, a week ago, I arranged for them to take part in what they now think is a piece of unfilmed academic research at a university and nothing to do with the show, supposedly looking into the effects of punishment on learning. And they believe now that this is part of their growth process. In fact, it was a reenactment of a powerful experiment conducted by Stanley Milgram in 1963 to look at how normal people can commit atrocious acts simply because they're following orders. Milgram's parents were Jewish refugees in World War II, and his pioneering work speaks volumes about the nature of responsibility. It's being filmed with covert cameras.
Thank you.
Galaxy brain strategy right here.
They're
You ready?
introduced to an actor pretending to be another participant.
You didn't come from the same room.
No.
You don't know each other.
No.
We don't actually know how punishment affects learning.
After a brief introduction, our subjects are tricked into thinking they've chosen their role as teachers in the experiment.
Just tell me what your positions are.
Learner.
Learner. Teacher.
Learner.
Our subjects observe the learner being instructed by the scientist, who is just another actor.
This electrode is connected to a generator in the second room. We might be going with the teacher.
Okay.
Just make sure that we have a good contact with the skin so it doesn't cause any blistering or burning. Is that comfortable?
That's okay, yeah.
Yeah, we just place these straps around your ankles to avoid any excess movement. Those aren't too tight.
No, that's okay.
No. The teacher will read out some word pairs to you. Blue.
The learner is told he's going to be asked a series of memory questions by the teacher. He will have to remember word pairs and then correctly remember them when offered multiple choices.
If the answer is incorrect, you will receive an electric shock.
The teacher is then taken next door and shown the generator, which ranges from 15 volts all the way up to a lethal 450 volts. The domestic
I just imagine one of them just going
UK is
straight to 150.
Our teachers are given the list of questions and told to increase the voltage each time the learner gets a question wrong.
Up to 107 million.
Of a low voltage shock.
And try and estimate in volts the amount of shock you feel you're getting.
Okay.
Jesus. Oh, shit.
Do you know how much that was?
Enough.
75.
Enough.
It's actually 45.
Oh my god.
Teacher, begin.
Shoe horn.
Steam.
The point of this test is to see whether the teachers, our subjects, will call a stop to the experiment or continue to the point where they are administering seemingly lethal electric shocks to the victims simply because the scientist is telling them to.
That's correct. The next word is bicycle. The options: tyre, race, helmet, shorts. That's incorrect, so there'll be 120 volts. I don't think I want to do this anymore.
If you could continue, please, teacher.
There is. No, I don't think I'm going to do anymore.
The experiment requires you to continue.
Yeah, even so, I don't think I'm going to do anymore.
Giga Chad doesn't care.
According to plan, our accomplice provided many wrong answers. Each protest was coordinated to a particular shock voltage on the generator, and his responses were played via a CD.
That's wrong, 150 volts. The correct answer is Captain Shoe.
Don't even sound real. Ow!
That's wrong. 225 volts.
That's not so scripted. Owie! Should he be like, shit?
He's in a lot of pain,
Continue, please.
but he's not comfortable.
We must continue to the end of the experiment. Whether the learner likes it or not, he has to go on until he's learnt the words correctly.
Okay. Forest. That's wrong, 240 volts.
Has he not just said?
It's not causing any lasting damage. He sounds like he's in a lot of pain.
Learner shocks might be painful, they're not harmful.
What does that mean, though? They're not harmful. Sorry, I'm not getting you. When you say that they might be painful but not harmful,
They cause no long-term damage.
okay, so what does that mean? That it doesn't leave any scars?
It causes no damage.
seems very cold and calculated to me. This doesn't seem like a very. Anyway, golden. That's wrong, mate. 300 volts.
The way he says it.
Staple. The options are diet, jar, balcony, and bowl.
One. He's just dead.
If the learner doesn't answer in a reasonable time, say 4 to 5 seconds, then you have to treat the answer as wrong and follow that procedure.
Did you hear that, learner? Just any response, mate. Come on. Wild guess.
Please continue.
345 volts. If you're still with me, I'm sorry. I can't do this, honestly. Can we stop this experiment? Because I can't do this.
If you don't continue, we'll have to discontinue the experiment.
Oh, he was crying.
Yeah, okay, fine. That's fine. I'm not going to do this.
You got shot. Ain't no shit.
Correct. 405 volts.
How high is he going? He's murdering him. The guy is dead. He's carrying on. Argue alive.
Sorry, is someone want to check on him? It's just he's not making any noise now, and he was before. And well, I'm quite happy to go on, but I'm just a bit worried about.
Should we continue?
Yeah, I'm just a bit worried because he was.
It's a little bit
he was,
unresponsive.
like, complaining before about the.
But no harm will come to him.
But he's not making any noise now.
It's essential that we continue with the experiment.
This dude did not care. 5 million volts.
Incorrect.
Not right.
450 volts. You promise he's not. It won't.
Please continue with the procedure.
You said it hurts, but it's because it's like it says they're dangerous in a shot. It'll be all right. Yeah.
Please continue.
He's fine, right? He's not dead.
Discontinue the experiment.
Carry on.
All of the subjects were told the true nature of the experiment was to see how they would respond to authority, and that it would eventually form part of the show.
He's okay.
I can tell you, yeah, he's absolutely fine. You actually weren't administering electric shocks to him at all. He is.
In the original Milgram experiment, psychologists were asked to predict how many people would continue to the point that they were administering the highest shock on the board. Their prediction was 1/10%. They were wrong. The results of our experiment were almost identical to the original. Over 50% of participants continued up to 450 volts. The majority of people will administer lethal electric shocks just because a guy in a white coat is telling them to.
450 volts.
450 volts.
450 volts.
450.
So after the results of the Milgram experiment, I've now chosen my 4 subjects that will go forward for the heist. Phil was impressively resourceful when he was caught stealing sweets, and held in his anguish during the Milgram experiment rather than defy the scientist. I did want to include a woman in the group. Jen was the only subject to
So the
take
show
any
wouldn't be
time to
cancelled on
recover
Twitter
after the
later in
Milgram
the year.
experiment, so I felt I shouldn't use her. Veronica didn't steal from the shop, so that left Vicky. Of all the subjects, she was the only one to have known the original Milgram experiment and call a halt to her involvement in it.
Can I just say, I can't do this because I've heard of this experiment before.
So I think she'll be quite interesting to use, although...
Pre-watcher.
Ali stole
Watched
most
off
from the shop,
stream.
seems to be highly responsive, most outgoing, and seemed most happy to continue the experiment until he was stopped.
Well, shouldn't it have made more... notches on the thing.
Danny stopped the experiment, but in such an outspoken way that I suspected he would have real strength of character to bring out.
It's not even reacting anymore.
So
He's dead.
Up to yesterday afternoon.
Why am I
There are
carrying
a couple
on?
more pieces of the jigsaw puzzle I need to put into place. The motivated state in itself isn't quite enough, so I need to turn it a little more aggressive for them, but without ringing any alarm bells. So I have them create a feeling of aggression and attach it to the trigger of a squeezed fist.
You take hold of it in that hand and you anchor it to that feeling of that hand just there, squeezing as you take all that aggression. As you move that around and around inside of you, as it doubles and triples and moves around inside of you, building up that feeling of...
Then I have them trigger off the motivated state by rubbing the leg at the same time to combine both states together.
You are linking
Sounding a little
these
sexual.
powerfully and
Darren,
inextricably
getting a bit
together.
kinky there. Careful.
They try this a couple of times and are now able to tap into a darker state, and they still feel this is entirely for their benefit.
This is your most powerful state that you as a human being can achieve. That's what it does. That's what the music does. That's what the words do. That's what that green intensity does. All of those things that are triggering this off, that's what you get. How's that? Mental. Good.
Before the heist itself, one last piece of the puzzle. They need to believe they have it within them to overpower a security guard and to know what to say and how to say it without thinking about it. So without ever mentioning security guards, I teach them an esoteric martial arts exercise where a person can be pushed over using the power of chi.
You two are going to find yourself being pushed over.
Chi! I thought you said cheese, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, how's cheese gonna push him over?
A resource for them to draw from.
Man's gonna get a Parmigiano Reggiano wheel and just overpower a man.
When I tell you to, you're going to start to create that state inside of yourself, and you build it to a peak. When you reach that peak, the only instruction I want you to give are just the words down on the floor. Just those words alone. They're going to carry the full weight of that emotional state.
Down on the
Just do it
ground.
now. Just get into that state. Just start to build that up inside of you now.
Nah, there's some religious stuff now. What are they doing?
Say those words down on the floor now. That's all you say, and you keep it focused, and you push those two back. Down in alley. Try not to let it push you over. Keep pushing back against it. Just pushing.
Down on the floor.
Now, of course, it's not chi or energy at all. In reality, the person expecting to fall over succumbs to the suggestion and topples off balance. But the people apparently pushing come to believe that they have a powerful and invincible state to tap into.
Down on the floor.
That's what I want them to believe.
I felt very tense. It was almost as if
Throw a wheel of cheese at him, exactly.
push him.
Down on the floor! Lobs cheese. Shit, man!
Like throwing something at them. What I felt was just this sort of invisible energy, just, it just sort of crashed against my chest.
I don't, are they trying to rob a bank or like get converted to Buddhism? I'm so
A
confused.
certain phrase, a certain colour, a certain piece of music have been used to induce a state of wanton recklessness and aggression and a just-do-it attitude.
One part.
Other factors also support the process. The titles on the screen and the language used at the seminar. The supposedly subliminal CDs which left them feeling malleable.
CD's nuts on your forehead.
Which romanticizes the idea
You
of
got
a
there,
criminal.
I'm not gonna lie.
The
Fell
green
right into it.
security van. The animosity felt towards a security man in a green uniform already, who happened to be wearing the same badge as our guard in the street. Finally, the oil painting of a security van hidden on the wall at the seminar.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Wait, who sang that?
Everything should
Was that
now be
MJ?
in place. So if you missed the start of the show, this is Gresham Street in the City of London. The Bank of England is just down there. We have a fake security van, a fake security guard, and £100,000 of real money. There are 15 cameras watching this area. We have no idea
what's going to happen or if anything's going to happen, but we just hope to cover it as best as we can. You have followed every aspect of the persuasion process so far. Nothing has been added or taken away. It is the linking of certain emotional states to certain triggers, piece of music, colour, certain words and so on. Our participants have no idea that they're going to be filmed or that anything has been set up, and we don't know what they're going to do. This is nothing we've been able to rehearse, and if it doesn't work, we will just show it to you not working 4 times in a row. There's really no way of knowing.
Yeah, I never knew that. I didn't know it was MJ. Mission
This
Monument.
whole area
Pretty
has been
wicked.
cordoned off from the public and is being supervised by the police. Our 4 subjects have been told to expect a phone call and that they'll have to travel into the city of London for a final motivational session.
Hey, how you doing? It's Darren. Hello. Just about to pick you up. There's a car just around the corner is going to come and get you, so if you can grab your stuff, and I will see you in a bit. I think the car's going to drop you just down the road. So you've got to walk
Village. Let's go. That's exactly what I wanted. Shipwreck.
As with every day, you know, as I say time and time again, this is about every day finding some opportunity to experience something that makes you feel great and exhilarated, yeah? So, you know, make that decision to steal yourself and grab the opportunity to make all this work.
Steal yourself?
Really pay off. It's just about standing in the face of security in life, isn't it? And making it do what you want it to do. Because ultimately, I suppose all of this is about you knowing that you're the one with the weapon of absolute pointed, aggressive, unquestioning power.
They're also told to bring with them their toy guns that they were given at the seminar. All of our cameras and crew are well hidden. None can be seen by our 4 subjects.
Targets in zone 1. All cameras locked in position. Stand by car.
Now remember that 2 weeks ago, Victoria was an ordinary businesswoman, a press officer at a motivational seminar.
Oh, she's robbing a bank. He just shivs them.
Now help me.
I think she get on the floor.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
On the floor.
Giga Chad. Bro, she's clueless. This way. Northeast.
Targets in zone 1.
He's loving it.
Oh, there he is. Stand by car. Go car. Cue music. Cue security guard.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt proceedings, but this is a hold-up. Get down on the floor. Get down on the floor.
Nah, that ain't real. There's no way. I'm sorry, sir, but this is a hold-up. Gets down on the floor.
Don't move. Get away. Get off. Get off.
It's okay, Phil. It's Darren. Right?
What happened? Why did you do that?
I saw the guy coming out of the thing. I don't know. It was like just before. I don't know. It was just something coming out. It was just like a split something like when I'm playing rugby if I've got an important match or something. Yeah. It's like 100 times better.
Come with me. Come with me.
He just takes it to jail.
Getting out the car now. Getting out the car now. Target is inside. Target is in zone 1. And Q car.
Excuse me, mate. Put down, get down on the floor. Down on the floor. Down on the floor.
Do it.
On your front. On your front. On your front. Right over.
No one says you ain't gonna do it to someone who's got a gun on you. Elbows are jail. Oh, loot.
Tell you what, mate. You try anything, you're dead, alright?
Cheeky kid.
Look forward, mate. Oh, I'll fucking put it in your head. Look forward. Look forward. Mate, if you move, I swear to God, you're dead, mate. If you've got family.
If you've got family, you're dead. She just twats one of them. One of the recording crew. Danny lad, calm down. The joke, isn't it?
Alright.
Alright. The joke.
Okay, take a moment.
You bastard, Darren.
Ah, you got me. He's trying to rob a man. Threatened his family. You got me.
Here, come with me.
Ah, that's Darren for you. These silly bank hold-ups and all. There's a Gigabrain stretch on. 3 blocks up. Whack him out. Fuck! Give me 2 punts. Bro, Moxie Mike, what is that? What's this cape is so sick. I want to build it around here. What do you say?
Ali!
How are you? Alright.
One fail, 1 F.
Stealing sweets is one thing, but stealing boxes of money from the Bank of England is a completely different kettle of fish. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. You good?
I only steal from the poor, man. Come on, I'm not an evil man.
Could you put yourself up on that bed there for me, please?
You need to take me for Darren.
Okay. Close your eyes for me.
Let's build over here.
As you start to undo the aggression, or as you start to undo those aspects of it that would have led you to hold up a security man, all that. You now have something very powerful to draw from.
Lies. They just left them like that completely.
To just take from it everything that's good.
The last couple of weeks have been the most fun I've had in ages. It's been brilliant. I've taken away a sense of power, a sense of achievement.
Taking away money from a poor, shop owner.
Amazing experience, something that I can kind of look back on and think about how I was able to really push myself and perhaps be able to do that from now on.
I realise now that I'm a lot stronger-willed than I thought I was, and the fact that I didn't go through with the steal itself, I'm very pleased with myself.
I think the last
I am very pleased that I didn't rob the Bank of England.
Experience, and I'm on an absolute high at the moment.
What's illegal? Can't do
Just
that.
like you were before, except for all the good stuff that you want to take with you, which you've now created and created for yourself.
I can't even see chat. Hang on.
And that's a way of thanking you.
Not Primo. Is it Primo?
For everything that you've done.
It is Primo. Okay, I thought I read that right. We're just chilling on Minecraft and started a new hardcore and watching some YouTube. We'll go to the basic house somewhere. I like my doors this way. Look. There we go. Right, which one next, Sean? Which one next? Hit NC! Alright, hang on. Give me a chest. Let me see. Which one? Because I've seen a lot of them. How about how 2B2T players stole 2 million carpets? Let's watch this one. Unless you want to watch a more exciting one. You want to watch the no-con? This one's actually pretty cool. Yeah, hang on. It was about a very sophisticated hack that they did in 2B2T. Where they like leaked everyone's bases in the history of 2B2T. There you go.
2B2T, the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft, has just spent the past 4 weeks in complete turmoil. An infamous group of hackers has been using an exploit against the entire server for the past 3 years in secret. And it's finally been revealed to the
I've seen this one, but I like it.
As someone who has
Have you
covered
seen this one?
Minecraft exploits for years, I can safely say this is the most powerful and destructive one I have ever seen. The ultimate coordinate exploit, capable of tracking the real-time movements of over 300,000 players across all 3 of Minecraft's dimensions. 15,000 bases were found using this exploit. There was nowhere to run or hide. It was used to grief countless builds and steal over 200 million Minecraft items from stashes. The group responsible was thought to have quit the server years ago, but they've been pulling the strings from behind the scenes the entire time. What's remarkable is that this exploit shows how fundamentally flawed Minecraft as a game actually is. One person even tried to warn the community that this was happening, but they were written off as crazy and no one listened.
I've seen most of the
Prepare
videos too.
yourselves. For today, we'll be discussing NoCom, the most powerful exploit in Minecraft history, explaining who discovered it, how it was possible from a technical perspective, and the complete and utter destruction it caused. This video has been 3 years in the making and has required months of research and gathering testimony. So, if you consider hitting that subscribe button,
yes,
you
Fit,
are an absolute legend.
I've already done it,
With
Fit.
that
Don't
being
worry.
said,
Fit.
let's get started. Since the server began in 2010, players have always attempted to use exploits in order to gain an advantage over others. If you haven't seen my video, the day 2B2T almost died, I'll sum it up real quick. In 2016, a group of players that went by the name Nerds Incorporated attempted to take over the server through the use of hacking and social engineering. They actually succeeded at their plan and had access to admin powers, but it was short-lived and they eventually lost them. Many members of the Nerds would go inactive, and for a couple of years, not much was heard from them until 2 years later, in 2018. Two players, Ox22 and Bubba J, were both server regulars that had an interest in Minecraft exploits. They had recently discovered a way to crash the server by loading a massive amount of chunks at the same time. The most simple thing you can do in Minecraft is breaking a block. And to do this, you need to click on it. What the exploit did was click on blocks everywhere across the map, even if they were out of render distance. This forced the server to use an incredible amount of resources attempting to load chunks that had never been visited by players. Thousands upon thousands of chunks were loaded in a matter of seconds, causing incredible amounts of lag, and eventually the server would crash. Instead of abusing this new exploit right away, Ox and Bubba J started theorizing how it could be used to their advantage. There was a way that they could turn this crash exploit into a coordinate exploit, but they needed the proper conditions first. You see, the majority of multiplayer servers in the Java edition of Minecraft run something called PaperMC, which fixes bugs and makes the game more stable. Occasionally, though, a bug fix can lead to a vulnerability that can be exploited to someone's advantage. Anytime there was a server-breaking exploit, 2B2T's admin, Housemaster, would have to report the issue to PaperMC. If they could crash the server to produce a specific out-of-memory message to House, he would report the bug. The most obvious fix to this would be to have chunks only respond to the server if they were loaded by a player, which could reveal someone's location. It was genius. The two shared their plan with a close friend named Frickin, who was a member of Nerds Incorporated, the same group that tried to take over the server in 2016. He confirmed that their plan could work if Paper developers were to implement the obvious fix. And so, they set their plan into motion. In July of 2018, they would begin crashing the server as fast and hard as they could, making it unplayable. Each crash would notify House that players were attempting to click blocks out of render distance, and it was causing the server to go haywire. He reported the issue to Paper on July 12th, and later the very same day, the exact bug fix the group was hoping for was implemented. When attempting to click blocks out of render distance, the server would only give a response if a chunk was loaded by a player. They now had the proper conditions for their coordinate exploit, and the following day, July 13th, they had their first working version, but it was very primitive. They would keep an AFK account in the overworld, and it would attempt to click blocks in all chunks leading away from spawn in a spiral pattern. If a chunk responded, it would send the coordinates privately in chat. Any chunks that gave a response were then charted on a graph. Bubba J would begin using the exploit to find and destroy item stashes, which started a panic in the community. Wanting to keep the exploit as low profile as possible, Frickin suggested a name for it. No-com, short for no comment. This way, if the exploit name was somehow leaked, it wouldn't raise any red flags. As a member of Nerds Incorporated, Frickin told the others in the group about the exploit, and they were brought into the Circle of Trust. In August of 2018, I released a video discussing the crash exploit that had already been patched, but while doing research for that video, I asked Bubba J if he knew anything about the exploit. He replied with no comment. Little did I know at the time, he was actually telling me the name of the exploit. It was hiding in plain sight, and we were all oblivious to it.
It was.
In the following months, the primitive version of the exploit would prove to be tedious. It was slow, resource intensive, and there was no easy way to differentiate between actual bases and simple dirt huts. In most cases, the charted chunks were just empty wilderness. There was also no easy way to tell which specific player was in the loaded chunks. They needed some sort of automation. Enter Lejerve, a talented programmer and the lead developer of Baritone, a program that automated actions in Minecraft.
Very wicked.
Lejerve had legitimate experience with machine learning, so the nerds requested his help in making the exploit more powerful. He accepted the challenge and was brought into the Circle of Trust. Over the next few months, his contributions would change everything. The first order of business was making searches more efficient. A program was taught to follow players once it identified them. They were located by running checks all the way up and down 2B2T's major highways, and then followed them to wherever they were going. Instead of searching in a spiral pattern starting at spawn, an adaptive tracking system would predict where players were headed. The easiest way to describe this exploit is like a game of Battleship, and the enemy ships are players on the server. You can't actually see where they are, and no matter what spot you choose to fire on, your opponent must tell you whether you hit a ship or you've missed. On 2B2T, your opponent is the server itself, and instead of firing missiles, you're trying to click blocks in chunks that you can't see. The server has to tell you whether a chunk you clicked on was loaded or not loaded. After it learned to track players, the program would use probability association to identify them. It would notice when specific accounts were connecting and disconnecting from the server. If a trail of chunks was suddenly unloaded at the same time someone disconnected, it began to associate that username with the chunk trail. So after 2 or 3 disconnects, it had a clear idea of who was actually in those chunks. This also allowed the program to chart how far a player had gone in a specific session of Minecraft. By this point, AFK accounts were being used in all 3.
Plugging it in. I forgot to charge it last night.
Dimensions, so all player movements were being tracked. Lejerve shared with me how the math behind the adaptive tracking system works for this video, and as you can see, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. From there, the program was taught to search all incoming chunk information for unnatural blocks, such as shulkers, stained glass, beacons, multiple chests, etc. If these blocks were found, the program would then recreate the chunks in a separate instance of Minecraft. What you are looking at is an actual 2B2T base being reconstructed in real time. The program has identified these chunks as a legitimate base. It's taking the block information and comparing it to what should be there on 2B2T Seed, which is publicly known. After running the check, it then displays what is different. Once the process is complete, the world download is automatically stored on a separate database. This feature effectively gave the nerds a form of spectator mode and allowed them to see what was happening in any loaded chunks on the server. Here, you can see an after-the-fact visualization made from years-old data collected on the average base. This one is named Electric Boogaloo. You can see how it starts from nothing, just a few random checks per chunk. Then it grabs and explores areas that are likely to be part of the build. It even goes back and rechecks sections periodically to see if any changes have been made. With all of these adaptive programming changes, Legerve would combine them with the Nerd's original exploit. What happened next was nothing short of incredible.
Epic hacking sequence.
The NOCOM exploit was now
Ooh.
the most powerful in Minecraft history. They were visually tracking every single player movement on the entire server in real time at 1 second intervals. Every chunk trail, base location, and player logout spot was now compromised. Heat maps allowed them to see where the most player activity was happening at all times. They would acquire so much data using this exploit that everything I've mentioned so far is just the tip of the iceberg. It was the ultimate power, and the Nerds had to show an incredible amount of restraint in using it. Because it was possible due to a paper vulnerability, this meant that the exploit could work on other servers as well. There was truly nowhere to hide. The exploit had to be kept a secret, and to do that, the group would have to feed the community false information for years to keep them from finding out the truth. Anytime there was evidence of a coordinate exploit being used on the server, the Nerds would brush it off as paranoia, or make up a different exploit with enough believability that people would buy it. What they were effectively doing was gaslighting. In the English language, one way to describe gaslighting is convincing a person that their memories of an event are not accurate. For example, let's say that when you were a young child, your parents took you to an amusement park, and while there, they gave you a red balloon. If I wanted to gaslight you, I would say, your balloon wasn't red, it was green. Don't you remember? Now this is an obvious lie, but if I repeat this statement to you enough times, you might start to believe that you were misremembering, that your balloon was actually green. This strategy of making people question their own realities is what the Nerds have been doing to the community for years. Several of my previous videos involving coordinate exploits had explanations such as tracking ender pearl teleportations or triangulating a base by observing a pet teleporting. The reality was that while these methods were actual exploits, they were used as a cover for the NOCOM exploit, which was the true method all along. Having believable explanations for bases and stashes being found was crucial. In 2019, the Nerds would start utilizing their exploit more and more. Their use of it would lead to the leaking or griefing of many prominent bases on the server, such as Space Valk 3, the Ice Dragon at Niflheim, the Great Tree, and many more. Sometimes they would just leak the coordinates outright and let aspiring griefers take care of the rest. The Nerds began a campaign called Dipper Nation and used memes to troll the community about the true nature of the exploit. What's funny is that in their base leak screenshots, they did not actually visit those places in person. They were using remote viewing to see what the base looked like. They could doom entire builds without even lifting a finger. It seemed like the group was unstoppable. But in the later part of 2019, they would hit a major roadblock. BibleBot, one of the AFK accounts that had been used to obtain chunk information, was locked by Mojang due to suspicious activity involving the authentication servers. Around this time, Housemaster would also lower the server's packet limit by a substantial amount. This meant it was no longer possible to use the exploit by only having a single account logged in. Multiple AFK accounts would have to be used in order to maintain the rate at which data was pulled from the server. Legerve would also have to retool his machine learning program to overcome these limits. After a few months of downtime, the exploit was back up and running more efficiently than ever. But realizing that more data limits could effectively shut them down, they decided that showing restraint in using the exploit was no longer an option. Of the group members, Ox22, Bubba J, and Legerve were all members of a separate organization called the Spawn Masons, who had become well known on the server for many of their ambitious projects. The three began taking large amounts of stash coordinates from the NOCOM database and began providing them to the Masons with no questions asked. A subgroup of the Masons, led by a player named Dectonic, would scout out each stash for useful building blocks and decide whether to give it up to the group to steal or destroy it. Over the course of 2020, the group would steal from and then destroy hundreds of stashes around the server. They did this so that the group would have more resources at its disposal. In total, the Masons would acquire more than 200 million Minecraft items from these stashes. It was clear that anyone able to use the no-com exploit had a major advantage over everyone else. While the exploit was running flawlessly, and House was still unaware of the original vulnerability, someone began to notice that something was not right. A player named ZeroNet realized that there were at least 4 accounts logged into the server 24/7. Being able to stay online without getting AFK kicked is very hard, so multiple accounts doing it instantly raised a red flag. ZeroNet began to suspect that the accounts were being used for an exploit of some kind, and he started inquiring about it. His original messages to the nerds had been ignored, but upon mentioning the AFK accounts, he was surprised to see them respond. They dismissed his claim as paranoia, and that he was being ridiculous. ZeroNeb would attempt to bring these findings to the attention of the greater community, but he was either ignored or laughed at. The nerds would actually program one of their AFK accounts to randomly message Neb with random strings of Morse code from time to time, fueling his paranoia to all-time highs. The nerds would spend the rest of 2020 trolling ZeroNeb, raiding stashes, and continuing to expand their database of locations. But in 2021, another group of 2B2T players would stumble upon the original paper vulnerability. Enter Steve 3, Mahan, and Redstone, 3 associates of a group called the Infinity Incursion. They had developed a brute force version of the exploit, but far more primitive. At first, they used it to observe the highways, but after some optimizations, they were able to find base and stash coordinates just like the nerds could. But when it came to tracking players' real-time movements, they could only follow one person at a time, instead of the hundreds that the nerds could. Now, with the ability to only follow one person at a time, I want you to take a guess as to who they decided to track. To absolutely no one's surprise, it was me. In May of 2021, I was base hunting on my Sunday morning live streams. I'd been using an alt account and at the time had not logged into my main account Fit for quite a while. I'm usually pretty good at concealing my location, but somehow I was getting found every single week, which was highly unusual. While stream snipes have happened in the past, they're pretty uncommon occurrences and are usually complete accidents. But to keep getting found every single week, despite being hundreds of thousands of blocks away from spawn, I knew an exploit was being used. Sure enough, the stream snipers revealed that they had been tracking me using their exploit. They knew exactly where my account was at all times. I even caught one of them attempting to sell the coordinates of my logout spot for real-world money. At this point, I knew that my main account was not safe to log in with, which is why at the time of me making this video, I haven't logged into it for over 4 months. In early June, the exploit was starting to go public, with more groups starting to gain access to it. Throughout all of June and July, bases and stashes began to fall. The server was going into doomsday mode, with players afraid to even log in out of fear of their bases being blown up. But it was too late. 15,000 locations had already been compromised, regardless of who was online or not. It was during this chaos that I was finally shown the true power of the exploit. If you saw my previous video, you already know that 10 of us joined forces to grief a base belonging to a player named Beardler. After the grief took place, I actually received a message from Ox22. He had tracked my alt and the accounts of everyone else to the staging area a few days before the grief. Since Beardler had been tracked to that very same location months previously, they already knew why we were there. By using remote viewing, the nerds were able to see the TNT being placed on the actual builds. Without even speaking to any of them, they knew our plan. It was possible to use the exploit to predict events before they actually happened. I was stunned. I knew the exploit was powerful, but not that powerful. By this point, the community had reached the breaking point, with many emailing House to warn him about the original Paper MC vulnerability. The Masons knew that the exploit was going to end, so they went on one final killing spree, hunting every new player at spawn they could find. Finally, on July 15th, 2021, exactly 3 years after the original exploit was created, House implemented a range limit that effectively destroyed it. Accounts were no longer capable of being tracked, and the server would not give information about faraway chunks. But the damage had been done. The exploit had left a trail of destruction spanning multiple years across the entire server. Zero Neb, who had been written off as crazy, was actually right all along. He had warned the community, but no one had listened. The total amount of data that the nerds had collected on the entire server was well over 2 terabytes. The majority of the base and stash locations, over 15,000, were still located on their private server, just like during the 2016 backdoor drama. They were the ones pulling the strings from behind the scenes all along. They never truly quit. As someone who has played Minecraft for over 11 years, the fallout of this exploit has given me a unique perspective. The reason the title of this video is called The Fall of Minecraft's 2B2T is because the server that we've played on all these years, the one that was compromised by the nerds, has finally fallen. With the exploit patched, a new 2B2T can rise from the ashes. While the destruction on the server is going to get a lot worse before it gets better, we can now travel in peace, knowing we aren't being tracked by the all-seeing eye in the sky. Everything that happens here is driven by real players with real motives. For a group of notorious hackers to socially engineer a server admin to open up a vulnerability and using machine learning to create the most powerful exploit in Minecraft history is not a story you can write. It's as real as it gets. And that is why there is no other place in Minecraft like 2B2T. We've always been playing a completely different game. The moral of today's story, no comment. The question now is what happens next? That was a long video, so if you enjoyed, you better be hitting that like and subscribe button. Also make sure to follow my socials, so take it easy, Fit Fam, and you can finally breathe easy.
Wow, good video. Any suggestions? Watch another fit video. We could pop on JCS maybe? JCS is pretty wicked. Jim can't swim criminal psychology. Maybe. Endurability. Oops. You still there, John? our base is this way. Not too far. Ah. Our base in quotation marks. Shit under my house, let's go. Couldn't plant this sugarcane. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to put it down there. I'll make my own plan. Oh, my fucking legs hurt. Ache. Uh. John's probably asleep, to be honest. I think we're going to do a lot of housework in end stream. We'll make this like a little, we'll use this world whenever we come on the stream and just chill. Hey. Let's pop these in the furnace. Need a shield. Let me grab some wood. No sharp things? That's not true. Alright, I got one there. Oh, okay. Okay. Need to do anything before we go off. Probably make ourselves a new axe. Oh yeah, the shield. Make that work. What else is that helmet? I'll keep that helmet for the nether. Make an anvil when we need it. It's alright. For now we'll just slap a portal over it. Make it look better next time. Got us up the horse, go to the nether. Set up some enchanting. Useless shit in there, random shit in there. Anything else? I don't think so. I reckon we've had a decent first stream on this world. Well, alright. Thank you everybody for coming to the stream. It's been good. We'll stream another time. That's some more fun. Alright, we'll let it be.